Yeah, my picture's not coming up. Okay.
Go to cam dash mic and see if your camera is routed to your front mic.
No, let me see. No, I don't want. That's solo. Okay.
Hi, baby gorgeous. I have no clue who's watching right now, but hello.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Welcome this afternoon. It is Jordan, aka Baby Gorgeous. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, baby gorgeous. I am doing well. How are you, love?
All right. So just introduce yourself.
Well, I am Jorden Ranae. I host the channel on YouTube, Pouring with Jordan. It is the YouTube channel where I run the YouTube streets, pour tea on a variety of subjects and shows, and then sweeten it with my opinions. I am, of course, the host, Jordan Ranae, and I invite you guys to take the time, take the ride, and have a drink with me. I do videos on a variety of topics, whether it be housewife subjects. I talk about music. I have a subject on throwback TV shows that I grew up on. And, I talk about a little bit of anything and everything.
Okay. So how long have you been on YouTube?
This is actually my second round at YouTube. I had a channel a couple years ago that was mostly about social justice issues and what the complexities were being someone who was black and queer in America. And so it was really about social justice and intersectionality. That YouTube I turned into a podcast and I did about 50 episodes of that. And then I walked away from it because I was doing a whole lot of things outside of that. And then I was going through a lot at the time. So, plus, my goal was to hit 50 with that show and then leave that where it was as just like a capsule thing. So, this time coming back, I came back. I believe my first video went up on October 6th of this year. It's only been a couple weeks since I've been back, but I've kind of just hit the ground moving. So it's been a short amount of time, but I've been so very blessed to have a lot of love be sent my way so far, and I'm hoping that I keep you guys around. So.
Okay. So you did a video. It was called. I think it was called. Oh my goodness! I got questions about Real Housewives of Atlanta.
RHOA questions, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I watched the video, but I was still kind of lost. I mean, what was your question that you had about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
All the things that I brought up, they were all like individual questions. So like all of the subjects that I brought up, like are we gonna get all of the stuff that I brought up in the video on Portia's special? Um, is Marlo going to step up and really give us what she needs to give us to really earn that peach? Why do they keep bringing Sheree back, and why is she always available anytime that they need her? Um, how long is Candy gonna do this, and when are they just gonna give her her spinoff so she can walk away peacefully? Where's Tanya? That is my biggest question for RHOA. Where is Tanya? And if Drew is coming back, is Ralph coming back with all of those shenanigans and antics? Because I'm not trying to be like, I don't want to see scenes of her trying to find him in Florida. Like, I'm not here for it. So there's a lot of things that I'm curious about when it comes to this season because I'm very nervous.
Yeah. So how do you feel that the season might come back next year sometime? I don't know. They said February, but I'm not for sure.
They said it was going to be about February, March, and that is devastating to me because I'm used to first week of November every year. They on a clock. I'm used to setting my Thanksgiving schedule by the Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere because it always premieres the first week of November. And so that just has thrown my entire Housewives calendar off. But now that I've seen like mostly or the cast, I think they've officially announced Marlo is getting the peach, Sheree is coming back as a full-time housewife, Candy is still there, Drew is still there. I am excited to see what they're giving now. Like now that we know who the cast is, now I want to see what they're gonna give. I want to see all the questions that I had still apply because the cast is exactly who I thought it was gonna be, with the exception of the new girls because I didn't want to speak on them until we knew exactly who they were.
Right, because I think her name is Sonia Richardson or something like that.
Something to that effect. Sonia or Sonia.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah,
about the last name.
yeah. She was a track star. I'm familiar with her. I watched her reality show that she had on. I watched it on YouTube. It was like 8 episodes or something like that. But
Mm,
the show was really good. But she had a whole hour show. I mean, she was popular at the time that her YouTube, I mean that her show came out on WeTV. But I think it was her show should have been more like a half an hour because they
mm.
gave the drama and but it was just too long and it seemed like she was trying to carry the show but she was new to reality and basically I think the show should have been a half an hour and I think it would have been more successful if it was a half an hour.
I have to go and check it out because I I had heard her name before, but it was more so in like the track world because I pretty much like only watched the Olympics for the track and field and the gymnastics, right? So I had heard her name, but I wasn't like specifically familiar with her.
Hmm.
Kind of like a Kenya Moore, where like I had heard of her. She was like the girl who was in that scene in Waiting to Exhale, or like she was the girl who was on that episode of Martin, or like stuff like that. But like you really didn't know her. I
Right.
had heard of her, but I wasn't too familiar with her. So finding out that she had a show, I found that out when her name first came up in the zeitgeist, right? When she first popped up in the conversation, they were mentioning that she had a show, and I never got a chance to go back and watch it. But they said that she has a personality for reality TV, but maybe that show just was like too early or like before its time. It's like kind of like Jackie Christie's show before she got Basketball Wives.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Jackie's show. I like Jackie, but I haven't seen her show. But anyway, yeah, her show was pretty good, but like I said, it was just too long. I mean, for her to first coming out, and she does have a personality. And her sister was on the show, and the sister fiance was on the show, and the husband was on the show, and then her mom and her dad was on the show too. But
Mm.
yeah, I think yeah, it might have been like before her time. I mean, it was ahead of its time. Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I'll
yeah.
definitely go and check that out at some
But
point.
anyway, ain't nobody checking for what's her name? I called her Crafty Kenya. Ain't nobody checking for her. She got voted off of Dance with the Stars because her twirl did not vote for her. That was the whole
Well,
point. Her because it's a
mm,
guy on there named Ahmad. He's Tiana Taylor's husband.
yes,
And
Mr. Iman Shumpert.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So her fans is voting for him, so he's
Of
staying
course.
on the show. But Twirl, correct, Kenya fans did not vote for her. That's why she got voted off. But then they also saying that it's a conspiracy theory that she had to start taping the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she needs to go anyway. So I don't know.
I, honestly, I am more so um compelled to lean towards that conspiracy theory and think that that's basically how she worked it out in her contract. She basically probably went to Bravo and was like, "Look, I want to do both, but we're not going to follow you back and forth doing Dancing with the Stars. We didn't really follow Candy that much back and forth doing The Shy or doing The Masked Singer. So what makes you special? We didn't even follow Nene doing Dancing with the Stars." So I think that they probably set it up where she could do this many episodes of Dancing with the Stars, and then by the time that it was time for her to start filming, she could mysteriously get voted off, and then she would just magically be available to start filming Housewives of Atlanta.
Mm. Yeah,
That
next.
sounds just as crafty as Kenya is. Absolutely. That has the cookie lady written all over it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, and also, you did a video on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then you was talking about Jenny and her ordeal with her husband wanted another baby, and she doesn't, and she had some issues before dealing with having kids, and
Hmm.
your opinion, I mean, your thoughts on it. I think it was very touching. And then you also stated that you went through a similar situation. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I thought that was. I mean, I thought that was like it was not interesting, but I mean, I was feeling you from your point of view. That's what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate that. It's not something that I speak about often. Like, there are things like this is kind of how people get to know me. Is I don't necessarily just volunteer information about myself, but if it comes up in context within the conversation I'm having, and it's like it's worth me mentioning, like in this situation, I know very well what they've experienced, especially with their stillborn child, right? I know that very well. And so I could speak to that. That's the only reason why I brought it up. Had they not had this storyline, you would have never known that about me. And it's not necessarily that I'm like private or that I'm hiding it. It's just I'm a type of person, like once people get to know me, they know me for being very upbeat and very high energy and a personality, blah blah blah. And so I never want to come on like my YouTube channel or things like that and bring the energy down of the people who are watching me. I always want my channel to be an escape. Do you get what I mean? So, but to directly speak to that, I do know very well what they've been through. And the reason why it upsets me so much is because in this specific situation, Dewey, yes, he went through all of the miscarriages with Jenny before they had the baby stillborn, right? But in his physical experience, he has only experienced the stillborn baby's death, right? Jenny's body has experienced all 9 of those miscarriages plus this stillbirth. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So while I can understand both sides, Dewey, I get where you're coming from. I do. But you're also being so reckless and selfish. Like you're being reckless with her feelings and selfish with yours that you're making it hard for anybody to relate to you because while you do have a point, as Ayanla would always say, your delivery diminishes your message. And your
Okay.
delivery is triggity trash.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I got you. I understand. Thank you. You said you have Music Mondays. What is Music Mondays?
Music Monday is a segment that I do on my channel every Monday where I just talk about music and it's exclusively music talk, whether it be new music that's been released, me talking about my experiences being a rapper and making music, me going back and talking about old music that I just want to, give flowers to and appreciate. It's just a music segment and there's not really like a specific format for each one. It's just every Monday I'm doing a video that's all about music. So outside of my Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Real Housewives of Potomac recaps that always come out on Monday or Tuesday because the those both of those shows air on Sunday. Music Monday is just special to me because I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing had I not been exposed to music. So in any and everything that I do, I'm always gonna pay homage to music and what it means to my life. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
just a segment that I do.
Okay. So you said you're a rapper. So have
Mhm.
you have music release or now or later? I mean, in the past.
I have a mixtape that I put out in on February 26th of this year. It's called IOU, Informed Opinions Unmastered, and it's a collection of songs that is a love letter to queer people of color, and it's also a battery of encouragement to all queer creatives. Um, it is a project that I did during the height of the George Floyd unrest and all of the things going on, really like tw- within the last year of 2020, and with everything going on at the exact same time, the world was literally freezing over, and so it just kind of really put me in a creative space, and that was really what I had to talk about, and so I really wanted to take the the anguish that we were going through as a country and put it into something positive that people who specifically identified like me could relate to.
Oh, okay. Where can you get it at? Where
You
can you download it?
you can find it on all streaming platforms. I personally use YouTube Music, but it's on Spotify, Apple Music, you YouTube. Just search Jordan Ranae, JordenRanae, and you'll be able to find me.
Oh, okay. So you said you said also you had throwback TV shows. So what is
Mhm.
your favorite throwback TV show?
Well, the first two that I'm covering right now, Throwback TV is a segment that I created on my channel because I wasn't getting my fill of scripted content from today's market. And all of the scripted shows that I love and that I rewatch were all shows that I grew up on, especially black TV shows, because I grew up in that era in the 90s where like black television was at its peak, and so a lot of those shows have recently hit Netflix and everybody is talking about them again. So I want to go back as an adult and rewatch those shows from new eyes and see how I feel about all of my favorite shows now and just share that experience with my audience. So my favorite sitcom of all time is Moesha. That's the first one that I'm doing. And then I'm doing an accompanying one with that to Girlfriends.
Okay. Who's your
Mhm.
favorite character on Girlfriends?
I relate the most to Maya, even though I want to be a Joan when I grow up. I feel like I'm always going to be a Maya.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, my favorite character is Maya. And oh, what's the other girl name? I can't think of her name. The
Tony.
Tony, yeah, Tony. I like her. I like Tony also, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
God.
that concludes our interview. Is there anything that you want to say before you leave?
Um, just thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you reaching out. I'm a small channel. I'm just starting out. I've only been around 2 or 3 weeks. I'm just hitting 500 subscribers, and I'm working towards 600. So I appreciate you seeing some value in my content and reaching out for me to do an interview with you. I'm truly grateful, and all of you guys, you can follow me at Pouring with Jordan. As you see it written right here is exactly
Right,
how my channel
yeah.
is spelled. So, yeah, so you guys can come over, subscribe to me, and I drop a video just about every single day. So, take the time, take the ride, and have a drink with me. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, that concludes our interview with Pouring with Jordan. And he's a new YouTuber on YouTube. And you could definitely check him out. And that concludes our interview. And see y'all guys next time. Thank you, Jordan. Bye.